Welcome, my good people. Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show. And I'm with your host, CJ Moneyway. Let's get it.
What's up, my good people? This your boy CJ Moneyway. Welcome to the Moneyway Show. I want to know, have you experienced this as well? Like, people that you want to love you and enjoy what you're doing.
They ain't there. They not there.
Exactly.
That's tough. I have a hard time dealing with it, but I know I deal with it, you know what I'm saying? I deal with it, say it's what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that's a tough, well, that's a good question, bro. You be throwing some arrows.
Because
that's the part of the journey, man, is to make it difficult when it's like, you know what you want, who you want there. You know what I'm saying? You want to help, and then it's like, man, it's like the reality of who they really are came out. Like, I was tricked all the whole time. I was duped, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, real love is consistent, man. True love real love don't change. It's just really just consistent, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, when you see that, like, man, wow.
Sit back and relax. You're listening to the Moneyway Show.
how was it for you being raised and born and raised in Gary?
You know, man, I get that all the time, bro, when people ask me that about living down here. And I just tell them, Gary made me the person who I am and who I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Because I think from the era that we grew up in and seeing things is totally different now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love my city, but would I want to move back? No. That's why I'm glad my mom is moving back down here to Indianapolis, because, you know what I'm saying, she can be closer to her children.
Mm-hmm.
But, but for Gary, man, it's like we have so much talent that come out of Gary.
Yeah.
So it's like, and what's crazy, like when people find out that I'm from Gary, they're like, dang, you don't seem like you're from Gary. You don't act like that. You don't know how people act just because that's your assumption.
Mm-hmm.
So don't assume that I act a certain way because I'm from Gary, because there are some educated, smart people that come out of Gary, some talented people that come out of Gary. And that's because what y'all hear in the past is not what is always like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So when they say that, I get offended because that's my city. That's where I'm from.
You're listening to the CJ Moneyway Show with my man CJ Moneyway. Tune in every other Friday to one of the hottest podcasts in the Midwest, where you can hear exciting episodes and up-and-coming artists like myself, even inspiring authors and entrepreneurs and the everyday man and woman, right here on the CJ Moneyway Show.
Let's get it.
You got to know him to trust him. That's the one thing. And it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight.
Oh, no.
But even when I had my experience and I came to him, it's 22 years ago. Now, things he spoke to me then is getting ready to come to pass now. Mm-hmm. But I had to get to know him, especially when it's faith. It's hard to believe in something you can't see when you come from our background. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Because we want to see. We want to see the money. We want to see how this going to go. And it's hard to believe. I think that's the hardest thing, and to believe in the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to know him, once you done had experience with him, and you done seen him do this and do that, it's easy to rest. Not saying I ain't gonna never have no problems again, but now that I know that who he is,
mm-hmm.
he got all authority, all power. He called me before I even came out of my mama's womb.
Yeah.
So he already knew what he had prepared for me. Even when I was in the streets and the devil was trying to destroy me, God already knew my day to come out.
Sit back and relax. You're listening to the Moneyway Show.
The reality of who they really are came out. Like, I was tricked all the whole time. I was duped, you know what I'm saying? Because, real love is consistent, man. True love.
You had a lot that you have done in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You've accomplished a lot. You made the six figures by the time you were 30. You have the children, and you have your husband, and you've had these things, and maybe this is the end for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I heard "Get Up."
Okay.
And it was loud and clear. And it was just like, I just got up. And so when I got up, I looked in the mirror and I had dirt stains, from being on the floor and all that. Because you don't clean when you're depressed, So I was on the dirty floor and in the bathroom. And so I didn't recognize myself. But when I heard that get up, I got in the shower, I started just cleaning myself, crying, and I was like, God, just tell me what to do so that I will never get on the floor again, because being down there, it is a horrible place to be, and I don't wish that on nobody, right? So I said, God, tell me what I need to do so that I don't get on that floor, and I will help as many people as I can to not get on that floor. And God said, write a book.
Sit back and relax. You're listening to the Moneyway Show.
So how was that as far as the writing process when you came up with the characters and things of that nature that inspired you to actually dive into it the way that you did?
Okay. I love that question. So basically, it just started with me first trying to figure out, like, who am I, right? So I started with that question, and that's why I was telling you kept going back. I kept going back different generations. Okay. And once it was, I realized it was Juneteenth 2020. We was in the middle of COVID. I started writing my first book. And by the time Black Pearl came, which was in December of 2020, so I started writing June 2020, okay, Juneteenth. By the time December of 2020, the same year came, I had written 4 novels.
Oh, okay.
So when I tell you I didn't stop, it's like once I heard that song and I felt something take over me, I just started writing. So I wrote my first book, and I told my husband, I said, just give me a year, let me see where this goes, right? And so after I finished the first book in about a month, I was like, I got to keep going. I was like, it's another story, because a character has spun off, and I had to write that story. And so there was a time, for that whole time, all I did was write. And as I said, it was during COVID, so, we was locked in. Yeah. So because we was locked in, that gave me an opportunity to just stick with it. And when I had my first book completed, I was like, I told you I know how to write. I did not. Yeah. I did not. Okay.
To be strong, just like Jesus' example, he had the word. If he was the Son of God, he had to use the word.
Had to use the word.
And a lot of men don't want to get in their book and read. Women will, and they'll cry to God. Men think it's too macho for them to yield. He said, resist the devil and he will flee. You got to draw closer to God and resist the devil. So when he do come with temptations, you be strong enough in your spirit. That's why we got to build the spirit man up, because we can take care and go to the gym and yield so much to taking care of the outer. It's the inner. The inner man is what we ain't focusing on and we ain't building. You got to be built from the inside out. And that's the problem. But if the enemy want to tear our world down.
Sit back and relax. You're listening to the Moneyway Show.
But if it comes to that, then it be. But don't judge me based on what somebody else said, though.
Exactly. Because like you said, you done already paint a picture and a perception of me negative already. And it's not even the case, because once you get to know me, or I get to know you, they'll be like, damn, that person wasn't even that type of person at all. Absolutely. And that's the same thing with my oldest son and my daughter, and with my younger son, Boaz. And when we talk on the phone, I tell him all the time, I love you, son. He be like, love you too, Pops. It's one of those things but see, here's the thing that I learned from telling our young men that we love them, especially at a young age. Because when they know they love and they heard that they're being told that you love them, that's teaching them it's nothing afraid to tell somebody that you love them. And then when you get a significant other, you can tell them you love them and show them that you love them at the same time. I think it was my Raycons that was acting up, so I had to switch to my AirPods. I don't wear them that much because they fall out my ears. Yeah. I got the little bitty small ear canals, but I got these little locks.
Right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. No, man, it's the whole story, man. It go way back. It's crazy how the story even start, man, because, like, everybody that really know me, everybody that's in my circle, they know, like, Wheel of Fortune is kind of like that's my thing. They like, man, this dude crazy at this, Like, I solve them before the letter's up there. I try to guess what it is, you know, before a letter even come up there. So, so that's how it started, man. So when I finally, somebody had to talk me into getting on auditioning for the show. Cause I never even thought about it, man. I just didn't think about it. I didn't think it was a possibility of, you know. So eventually, man, my niece, she talked me into getting on it, man. And once I passed the audition and they invited me out there to the show, I can say I was kind of like over prepared, man. It was like one of the moments, man, that you just wait for. It was like a layup, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People like, was you nervous? And I'm like, man, I kind of was ready for it, bro. It sounds crazy as hell, man. But like I say, the people that's in my circle, they know. They like when they found out, they were like, ooh.
Welcome, my good people. Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show, and I'm with your host, CJ Moneyway. Let's get it.